Warriors on 3, 1, 2, 3. Warriors! Go, that's good. Go.
We have pretty much a junior dominated team, yes.
Okay. So they came up from JV team?
JV team that did well last year. They were 8-2, I believe, last year.
Wow.
So we have, it was pretty much a sophomore dominated team last year on JVs. So that's a good group of kids coming up.
Yeah.
Drive him off, Joey, drive him off. Push it.
Yeah, we graduated a lot of guys, and that's the way it goes in high school football. We're constantly replacing guys. So we'll be building this year with those young guys, and hopefully we can get them some experience and in the early season and get ready for league.
The fact they know how to win, they won as JVs. How important is that coming up?
Well, it's a whole lot better than the other way. But the two, we run a lot of the same systems. A lot of stuff's the same, so there's a lot of carryover from what they do down there up into our varsity program. But again, it just every time you take a step up, there's that increased pressure and complexity and things like that that's added to the game a little bit.
The loss of Ian Craddock, he did so much for you, not just at quarterback, but in other positions as well. Who's going to fill in that role, especially at quarterback?
Quarterback, we have two young guys working right now as Jimmy Graves and Rashawn Moore, and both those guys have been doing a great job. So they're competing here through the early season, and we'll see. We expect both those guys to play a little bit, and but they're doing a great job. They also are both defensive backs, so we're looking at those guys on both sides of the ball.
Now, is Graves coming up from the JV team, or was he the backup last year?
Yeah, he's coming up from the JV team. They're both juniors. Rashawn hasn't played football for a little while. He's been playing basketball and some other things, but he's a very fine athlete, and so both those guys are good kids, good athletes. So we should be in good hands there.
Back, or do you have anybody coming back at running back?
We have actually that's one of our strengths. We have a lot of guys that are skilled players. They have good athletes and good speed. Actually, the tailback position is one where we're fairly rich. So we're looking at how we can spread those guys around and get those guys all in the field at the same time, and use their skills in several different places.
Any names you want to throw out there?
Well, yeah, of course, Timmy Jimenez was with us last year as a sophomore, so he's back in return. Oscar Garcia is he's a junior up from the JV team. It's a very fine athlete. He played with us at the end of the year last year when we went into the playoffs and did a good job for us. We have, as well as that, Rudy Beltran is another young man. Played as a freshman. Didn't play last year as a sophomore. Is up as a junior with us this year. Another good athlete. Richie Gallardo is another young man that has played some tailback or fullback type positions as well. And he's returning to playing this year as a junior. So getting all those guys on the field at the same time, and having the ability for all those guys to be able to run and catch, I think is that's our challenge, is to use them. And then all those same kind of guys on defense, trying to put together a way to be able to use them effectively, get all those athletes on the field defensively as well.
How about O-line? Do you have any returnees there that you're going to lead the way?
Yeah, we have a couple of guys that are back, and those are actually our senior guys are mostly on the line, and that's Gabe Zapin-Ibarra. He's always down at the bottom of the alphabet. Gabe is back as our starting center. He was an all-league guy.
That's good. Good
place
to start.
For us, and he's a great student, just a terrific young man. And then Greg Letizarias is back, and he plays both two-way starter for us last year. He'll be back again as a team captain and a leader there. We're looking at Jorge George Arroyo is also a team captain. He was a starter for us last year on defense, played a little bit of backup as a fullback. We're going to look at moving him to the offensive line. And then sophomore who played with us last year is our big guy is Jose Pancho Sanchez, and he was started for us last year at nose guard. And this year we look for him to not only play on the defensive line, but also as a offensive line, and he'll play some offensive time, probably a two-way starter for us.
defensive side, who do you like to stands out for you on defense?
Well, again, it's a lot of the same guys. You know, we don't play a two platoon system. The guys play, but Greg and George, the inside linebackers, that's where they played last year, and they did a fine job for us last year in there. So they'll be returning there. Pancho against Sanchez on the defensive line. Gabe Ibarra was good for us on the. He played some defensive end last year as in a substitute type role, so he was in a rotation. So he's got some experience there. He's looking like he's doing well there. So you know, most of our secondary guys will be untested, but again, those are where you know, our athletes are. So
yeah,
hopefully those guys can get some experience, and by the time we enter the league, you know, we won't be inexperienced anymore. We don't have a lot of size, but I think, you know, we're good athletically, and I think they've done a good job. You know, in the off season, they've worked hard. So hopefully we'll be, like I say, athletic enough to make up for our size. You know, lack of size in certain places and experience, but
yeah,
you know, the experience comes by playing. So the early season is going to be important for us to get ready for. You know, we only have 3 league games, so we got 7 games to get ready for league. So by the time we get game 7, we shouldn't be inexperienced anymore.
1, 2, 3. Go, go, that's it, that's it.